Welcome back to the World Class Stamp. Tonight's show is a little bit different. It's a one club exclusive, West Ham. First episode where we have a guest with us tonight as well. And what a guest we have. Just want to introduce you to Tom. Tom, just give a really brief overview of your relationship with football and West Ham and go for it.
Hello everyone, thanks for having me on, lads. It's a privilege, especially be the first one on there as a guest. So yeah, no, thank you very much. Very much been looking forward to it. So yeah, I've been a West Ham fan all my life. My dad was a West Ham fan, and that's how I came into it. I never supported anyone else when I was younger, like some of the Glory Hunter kids back at the school. So it was always West Ham, and that's it. I never changed. And yeah, so supported them since a young boy, and here we are today. Still a big fan. Went to watch quite a bit last year. Try and get down the stadium as much as I can. And yeah, love the club. And yeah, thank you very much for having me on again.
Good stuff. Tom's going to give his definition of what world class means to him for a player, and so who he gives the stamp to and why. He's going to go through his all-time Premier League West Ham 11, and then we've got some reactions from Tom around last season and that great season for West Ham, and then what he thinks this season holds for the club, and also finish off with a little Q&A from the panel as well. So we'll have a few quick-fire questions to Tom share with him. So, Tom, over to you. What is your definition of a world-class player?
It's a tough question, isn't it? Because all the years you hear people saying about he's world class, and you think, I was thinking, what is world class? How do you define world class? Like Steve said, and when you said it about somebody before, that's brilliant, mate. What a great idea. So for me, mate, I've had a little think about this obviously since I knew I was going to come on here. So it's taken me a while, but I've come with a little definition that I think sums up quite nicely for me. Obviously, everyone's opinion. You must have so many opinions on this, boys, what it is, but this is mine. I'll go for it. Let me know what you think, boys. So for me, world class, yeah. For me, a world class player means you consistently one of the best players in your position playing in an elite competition, so like the Champions League or Premier League over a period of time. And this time can change, but for me, you need to be one of the best players. You don't have to be a striker, midfielder, it could be any position. If you're one of the best players in that team and you're excelling and you're playing in a top league or competition, I think that for me defines it. That's how I'd come up with it anyway. I don't know what you guys think about that.
Yeah, no, as we've said on the show earlier in previous episodes, everyone has a different idea of what world class means. So no, that's a good one. Like it. Any other thoughts, Anton, Matt?
Yeah, like you say, it is difficult to come up with those parameters. World class is probably overused a lot, right? But for me, world class is like you say, that consistency, being able to get into any other side. So if you had a specific player, say right back, could he get into any other Premier League team in that same position? Is he playing at the highest level? Did he win trophies? That kind of thing, I think, goes into what a world class player is for me. Matt, I know you kind of got a few. Your kind of threshold is a bit higher than that, isn't it?
Yeah, I think sort of slips into GOAT class sometimes. I think I rank people maybe a bit too higher than they should be. But yeah, it's the X factor of football, basically, isn't it? You can be consistent and get into a side, or you could have maybe 3 seasons of maybe the best in the world or near the best in the world player, and you're going to get a world class stamp for that as well. So the parameters, you said, can change. But yeah, it's everyone's interpretation. So
yeah, there is. I'm looking forward to this. Go for it, Tom.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a mixture, lads. Some of the newer players and some of the older ones when I was younger. So I'm going to go for it. So my West Ham team, Premier League era, in goal, I've gone for Ludek McCloskey. I don't know if you guys remember him. He's Czech Republic, it's Czechoslovakia. He used to play for, but no, he's a superb keeper, brilliant shot stopper, just all round, brilliant keeper for us. He played about 5 seasons, so played a lot of games for us. He's number 1 in that time, and yeah, really rated this keeper. And one guy that got close to me actually to making the team was Fabianski. I think he's been a great signing for us since we signed him from Swansea. Done a terrific job. Been a very good keeper, but my favourite keeper is Ludek McCloskey in my time as a West Ham fan. I don't know what you guys think about that. And if you remember him or not.
I do, yeah. He was very early days Premier League, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was, mate.
I remember watching a few games, not a lot, I'll be honest, but a West Ham legend.
Yeah, I can't say I remember Ludek a lot, but yeah, I just had a quick look at his stats. 318 games for West Ham, 40 appearances for Czechoslovakia / Czech Republic. So and appeared in the World Cup 1990. West Ham's had some decent goalkeepers over the years, so yeah, he's got to be up there.
How would you rate Shaka Hillslop in goals? He's the first West Ham keeper I probably remembered as a youngster. I know he had
exactly. Good keeper.
a good few
Yeah, very good
appearances.
keeper. Yeah.
So would he get close? Would he get close to keepers you've already mentioned?
I don't think he was, mate, to be honest, but no, he was a good keeper. He did well, and he played for Newcastle quite a few seasons, didn't he, Shaka?
Yeah.
Newcastle he played, wouldn't he? But yeah, he played, I can't remember how many games he played for us, mate, Shaka, but yeah, he was a decent keeper. Definitely, yeah. Yeah, good shot.
Who's your next player? Have you got?
Next player, mate.
Are you going for 4-4-2?
No world-class stamp for Ludek, sorry, but he made my team anyway, mate. Yeah, 4-4-2, mate. I've gone for the old standard one back in my day when I was a bit of a younger lad. So right back, mate, I've gone for another older player, Steve Potts, who's still coach at the club now. He was a versatile player, mate. He played a lot of games at West Ham, a lot of games. He's one of the top appearance makers in all time. He's up there. And yeah, just a dependable player, mate. I think he hardly scored a goal for the club, but he played centre back quite a bit as well. But I put him in a right back, and yeah, he never let the club down, and just a good club person. And it says all that he's still there coaching youth now, the academy.
Yeah, I think he was he early on, 91 to 94 in the Premier League. He was like the original.
Yeah, so he just made the Premier League then, mate.
Premier League era, yeah.
Yeah.
85 to 2002, 399 appearances, 1 goal, and then a brief stint at Dagenham and Redbridge. Yeah.
Does he get the stamp? Does he get the stamp?
Moving to
Solid full
let's
back.
move into solid right back.
So move on, boys. So this player's one bit closer to home for you guys. James Collins, centre back, big ginger Pele we call him. And this guy was he had a couple of stints at our club. He went to Villa and then came back to us, and he was probably even better in his second start at the club. But yeah, outstanding header of a ball, just a old fashioned centre back, and had to go in the Rose Ed at Wood. He was very dependable, consistent defender, and yeah, I enjoyed watching him play. Very passionate, and still loves the club really. West Ham, obviously, even though he's not from the area, he's still got contact to West Ham. Still work. I think he does work for the club still. So yeah, Ginger Pele, James Collins makes it in at centre back for me.
Who's going in next to Collins then, Tom? And you're the centre back.
So he's a right centre back, James Collins, left centre back, still plays for the club, mate. Italian defender Angelo Bonner, been at the club quite a while now. I think it was Slaven Bilic signed him, so it's about 2015, 16 perhaps. Still there, mate. Yeah, excellent defender, mate. When we first had him, mate, he was pretty quick, to be fair. He slowed up a bit now at his age, but yeah, again, reliable, excellent defender, mate. Reads the game well. Just great character to have around the club. I feel we would have played more games for Italy if it weren't for the likes of like Chiellini and Bonucci. Only played about 10 games for Italy, but no, really good defender, mate. And yeah, loved watching play for us, mate.
No Rio Ferdinand.
Surprised that that back two centre backs, but yeah, good picks.
Rio Ferdinand didn't make it.
Nah, didn't stay long enough, mate. He went, fair play, he went, but if he stayed a few more years, he might have had a chance, mate. But,
okay, yeah. Didn't qualify on appearances then.
He left us, mate. He left us too early.
Right, okay. Yeah.
Who's your left back, Tom?
Left back, mate. You guys probably might have guessed this one. It's a bit easier if you guys guess that. Julian Dix. Yeah, very, very good player for us. Scored a lot of goals for us, and the penalties were great to watch and trying to smash the net off. Very aggressive player, mate. He would have might have struggled to adapt with the Premier League now because he liked a late tackle and a strong tackle. So he'd have had to adapt his game if he'd play now. But yeah, he's again good club man. Left us and he went to Liverpool for a season, if I remember rightly. Then came back and played a load more games. So I think 60-odd goals he scored for us. So that's very good going for a left back, I'd say.
Your penalty taker, wasn't he? Is that right? And free kicks, I guess.
Yes, mate. Hit him very hard, mate. Julian Dix. I don't know if you remember any of them.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, he's a no-nonsense sort of player. Like you said, there was not many people getting past him if he didn't want to.
Cool. So that's the goalkeeper and the back line. Do you want to move into your midfield now?
Yeah, midfield, buddy. I'll go to the centre midfield first. Declan Rice makes it in the centre midfield, mate. Even though he's left for Steve's team, I've got to pick him, mate. He's brilliant for us, mate. We had him from 14 years old. We signed him until also just recently, and just really excelled at West Ham. And fans loved him. The club, I feel he loved being at West Ham, and bit inevitable at the end that he went and we got a good transfer fee for him. But as a player, mate, he was grew and grew, got better and better, and yeah, outstanding player for us, mate. And love watching him play. Very passionate player, always putting 100%, and yeah, great professional attitude, and absolute top bloke as well. That everyone seems to love him. He's just down to earth, genuine, nice person.
Do you feel not happy about it, but are you sort of why you moved on? I guess is what I'm trying to say. You accept the
mate,
reason.
Completely understand it, mate. Completely understand it, mate. You want to play in the Champions League top level, looking for compete for trophies, and we weren't going to match his ambitions, unfortunately, mate.
Any comments, Anton, Matt?
Yeah, great player.
Yeah,
he's probably he's probably broken the mold. A lot of the players, as soon as they kind of start playing for England and getting noticed and high profile, they're quick to move on to a Champions League team. But he really did want to try and win something with West Ham, and it was nice to see him lift a trophy last season and give the West Ham fans some memories with lifting the trophy with Rice. And he probably could have stayed an extra few years. He's still quite young, but yeah, he's obviously decided to take on the new challenge at Arsenal, and there's no guarantee of winning trophies there, but yeah, I think he's done enough to put himself as a West Ham legend.
That was a dig then.
Yeah, I was going to touch on. I know he's been sold to Arsenal, but you've got the likes of say Rio, Johnson, Joe Cole, and other players. How frustrating is it to see all that talent go through your club and then not to retain those youngsters throughout their career? West Ham, they're probably the fourth biggest side in London, I'd say, and London's a big place. I don't know how you haven't pushed for the league. I'm trying to say. I think you've got the fan base and you've got the players, but why didn't they seem to stay at your club?
Yeah, very frustrated, mate, to lose them players. We had some brilliant young players: Joe Cole, Frank Lampard, like you say, Johnson, Michael Carrick. We had some brilliant young players, and Defoe, a lot of them at the same time, and I think a lot of it down to money, mate. We never had the money backing from the ownership to push on and sign other top players to mix in with the good young players we've had. And yeah, it's very disappointing to lose all them players, like you say. But as a fan, you get frustrated. But what can you do about it at the end of the day? What can you do about it? It's disappointing to lose all them players and make them the same as Declan Rice again. Very disappointing, mate.
Do you think that'll change in the future? Do you think that the game's getting even bigger? London, you've got, like I said, a massive fan base there. Do you think that's going to change in the future? Do you think you can retain more players going forward?
Only with substantial investment, mate. To be honest, I mean, we've got David Sullivan owning half the club, and if he does sell, then we get ownership with a lot more money than our ownership. Perhaps you never know; it could happen, mate. But I think it's a lot mainly down to that, to be honest, mate. Which is probably saying for a lot of clubs, isn't it? You look at Newcastle now. The money they got, look where they're going.
Yeah, it's tough as well, isn't it? Because you got teams like Chelsea, Arsenal, Tottenham. They're trying to pinch West Ham's players, and you do see a lot of movement. Sometimes it benefits the London clubs, but some other times it can be a hindrance. Where if it's just like a move down the road for them, they favour it. So you might get Chelsea players who want to stay in London. They might fancy a move to West Ham. I think you benefited a lot from picking the bones of some good Chelsea players, like you mentioned Barna Zuma as well, come from Chelsea.
Zuma, Emerson.
Yeah, so it's kind of like it's convenient for those players to just stay in London. They're already settled with their family. So, but obviously the flip side of that is any players that kind of step up and look to be carrying the team, they kind of get pinched by some of the sides who got the clout to pay the higher wages, which essentially is what it's all down to, really. Although for Declan Rice, I think it's more you want to be challenging for those trophies, but yeah, a lot of the players it's just purely money, isn't it? And it's just difficult to compete.
Moving on that, this is an older player. I don't know if you probably would have heard of him. It's John Walker, and it's not all down to ability. He's not made it, but he made my team. I had him on the back of my shirt when he was a young lad. He was a aggressive little player. Loved the yellow card, but quite a little flair player as well. The lovely left foot on him. Didn't score loads of goals, but just a steady midfielder, mate. And this day and age on how good the pitches are now, he'd probably even better in this era, to be honest. So I don't know if you've heard of John Walker, lads, but he was a good midfielder. Left midfield, mate. Dimitri Payet. Yeah, this guy, I love watching play for us. He was absolutely amazing. He's only here a year and a half, a season and a half. Disappointing with his exit in the end, but I think there's a few personal reasons behind that. But when he was here, lads, he was quite brilliant, to be honest, for us. Absolutely one hell of a player. And yeah, he got the crowd on the edge of their seats and produced some memorable performances and some great goals for us as well. And helped us up that season, 2015-16. Last season, the bowling, we finished 7th. And that was a great season for us, finishing 7th. And he was a massive part of that.
Yeah.
Great player.
Yeah, just looking over his career, he pretty much spent the entire of it in France. Obviously spending that kind of like 18 months in West Ham and then going back to Marseille. And yeah, I think he was just one of those players who just he liked staying in his home country. We see it a lot with the English players, don't really go abroad much, and yeah, he just unfortunately wanted to go back home, but he probably could have gone on to play for the top clubs, or he was doing well at West Ham. They had a really good season. I think they got finishing Europa League places, was it that year, or close to it?
Yeah.
So yeah, a great player, and some of his highlight reel as well alone is probably world class, right?
Yeah, he got into our it was a world class 11 of One Season Wonders. I think he got into my squad.
That was it, yeah.
Steve's squad. I think he scored a couple of goals. Manchester United, Newcastle, and Crystal Palace. I think he scored an absolute stunner against, didn't he? So
yeah,
he's definitely got a world class stamp highlight reel for goals in a short space of time.
Yeah,
top player.
Yeah, final midfielder.
Right, but final midfielder, mate. It's a tricky one. Right midfield, right striker, right forward. Sorry, I'm playing 4-4-2. So right midfielder, Jared Bowen, mate. He's been an absolutely brilliant signing for us. We've had him 3 seasons now. He scored 41 goals. I've seen a couple of weeks ago on Twitter, 41 goals for us now. And yeah, just brilliant. From the Championship, came in and hit the ground running really. And the last season, he finished the season well. Obviously, scored the winner in the final, which was great. The season before that, he actually had a better season for us. Started the season a bit slowly and finished it well. And yeah, brilliant player for us. Very dangerous player. Cuts on his left foot. Good shot on him. Great engine. Great attitude. Yeah, all round good player, mate. And I'm glad we still got him. Hopefully, we can keep hold of him for a bit longer.
Yeah,
as you say, he's done very well for you, hasn't he? He was quiet last year, but he's now probably the player in your team. There's a lot of reliance on him now, I think, isn't there, to
definitely, mate. Yeah, definitely
keep performing and keep the results coming in. So 40 goals, that's amazing. 3 seasons. No doubt, if he stays there, he's gonna probably end up your all-time leading goal scorer, I would imagine.
Yeah, he could do, mate. He could do it.
Any thoughts, Anton, Matt?
Yeah, I think he's one of those players who fly under the radar a little bit. He's always chipping in with goals, coming up with big moments for West Ham. He got bags of pace. And yeah, I think when I'm trying to think about which like top 4, top 6 club he might kind of slot into, can't really find a club that would really be crying out for Jared Bowen. But that's not to say he's not a handy player to have around. So I think you got a good shot of holding on to him for a while yet. And yeah, he's a very useful player, and he's always coming up with the goal. So yeah, I really rate the player.
Yeah, well, he's had a good start this season, hasn't he? He put in a great goal on the weekend against Bournemouth.
Yeah, he did, mate. Yeah.
He created a good few other chances as well from what I saw the highlights. But yeah, he's a cracking player. Obviously, gets the important goals and definitely will break that top goal scorer record in 2 seasons' time if he's still there. So
yeah, good shot, lads. Good shot.
And then your front 2.
Strikers and lads. So I've gone for the older one first, Paolo Di Canio, who was massive fans' favourite. The fans obviously absolutely loved him, and he had a great time with us. Apparently, could have moved on, could have gone to Fergie, called him up, and he stayed with us. And yeah, he was excellent for us. Put a lot of goals, assisted a lot. Just superb player. He scored some amazing goals, and one of the best players I've seen play for West Ham. And yeah, legend of the club, really, lads.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I think goals and assists, he's got very similar numbers, hasn't he, over his West Ham career? 50-odd goals, I think, maybe 30, 40-odd assists.
Yeah.
I mean, that goal he scored against, I can't remember who it was against, but the little
Wimbledon.
is it Wimbledon? Yeah, I'm sure you know it. Absolute unbelievable goal that was.
Yeah.
We won't see anything like that for a long, long time. That was just pure genius. I think even the ref that he pushed over enjoyed that goal. But and then you're the striker.
Last player, mate. Current player, Mikel Antonio, our Premier League record scorer. It's hard not to include him because for that, mate. You know, we've had so many strikers over the years, lads, and a lot of them have been failures. You know, we've had a lot of strikers, and we actually signed, you know, Antonio as a winger, really, and then he went right back for a bit, and then Moisey gave him a go up front, and he did really well. You know, he really Moyes helped turn him around, and turned himself into a very good Premier League striker, which is obviously not an easy thing to do, is it? So yeah, he's slowing up a bit now at his age, and perhaps he's not quite the player he was a couple of years ago, but still on his day, he's one of them players. He can be very frustrating to watch, you know, especially if I'm a fan of him. But he can dribble the ball out of play, have awful touches, and then he'll just do something ridiculously good. You know, he's one of them. You know, I don't think he knows what he's doing all the time. You know, he's just one of them players, very unpredictable. But yeah, he's been a great signing for us. You know, for I think he signed about 7-8 million or something like that. And yeah, superb. You can't knock him really, and he's always put the effort in. And yeah, so he makes my team.
Steve, you want to go through and do the stamps? Who gets the World Class stamp?
Yeah, I was going to start with Dimitri Payet actually.
Oh, okay.
So, man, the 18 months he had at West Ham, he was unbelievable, world class levels, 1,000,000%. Some of the goals he scored, some of the performances, everyone was talking about him at every club in that sort of little purple patch he had. So I'm gonna base my decision purely on that 18 months now. He definitely gets a world class stamp for me. He was operating at levels that you don't see very often consistently in the Premier League. But the influence he had on games, winning games as well. So yeah, world class stamp, Dimitri Payet for me. And Tom?
Yeah, I think you're being a little bit harsh on him there, calling it a purple patch. Obviously, top player in France. Maybe he's out of the spotlight from the Premier League, but yeah, still performing well. Still in the French squad. Hard to get French caps. They're always stacked with players. 38 caps for France, 8 goals. Runner up in the European Championships 2016. Play for Marseille, and arguably, if he fancied the move, he could get into a lot of the sides. So for me, he gets the stamp here.
World class moments for me. World class moments. Not enough to get the stamp for me. Over his career. Yeah, fantastic 18 months at West Ham, especially. I know he's played in the France side. You know, France have always got a great set in there for every player to play in anyway. So to get into that squad is tough. But for me, just misses out. So he got into my side, he got into my one season wonder side, and I'll give him the same as I gave him that, which was just missed out on the world class stamp for me.
Yeah, Matthew's the Simon Cowell. He really gives people the green lights. But no, yeah, two stamps there.
Yeah. So let's flip over to the other side of midfield. Jarrod Bowen. How old is he, Tom? I want to say he's 20.
25, 26 now. 26.
Yeah, I was going to say 25. So
good age, yeah.
Yeah, for me, he's the first season he had at West Ham, he was operating at those levels, no doubt. Second season, as you said earlier, he was a little bit quiet, I guess, surprisingly. But he seems to be back on it now this season. I think if he operates at those levels for another 2-3 seasons, into his late 20s, he's got to be looking for an England call up as well. Get back around that. Sorry?
He's played 4 games for England, so he has made the squad. He played games for England, so it's great for him.
Yeah, he's got to be looking to get back around that circuit as well, hasn't he? Definitely. So he's operated at the levels, not quite yet for me, but I think if he continues for 2-3 seasons, then he's going to be very close. So that's me, Anton.
Yeah, I think it's still a little bit early days to kind of judge him. He's kind of like midway through his career. I don't think he's kind of played enough games to kind of at the highest level. 4 seasons in the Premier League, and 28 goals off 126 appearances is a good return. Coming up with big game moments as well. 4 caps for England. You'd like to see him push on. If we're talking about like world elite level players, they usually get into the national side. So that must say that there's some players ahead of him in the England setup. Might just be a spotlight issue where teams playing. I suppose Declan Rice don't have no issues getting into England squads. So I think he's got potential. And at only 26, he's still got a good, probably another 10 seasons left in him. So there's room to grow, and I think he could potentially get there. So, but at this moment in time, it's not a world class stamp just at this moment, but a really exciting player for the future.
Same for me. If he has 2 or 3 phenomenal seasons now with West Ham, maybe carry him into Europe again, or progresses with a different side, or if they can keep him, they can keep players like, that's what I was saying earlier, if they can keep players like Bowen and build around him to challenge for cups themselves, I think he's got the potential. He's got the potential there, but obviously he's only 25, 26, so we can't judge him quite yet. But he's definitely got the potential. So not quite yet, but almost there.
Matt, so I just want to say, mate, Bowen apparently, heard a few days ago, he's real close to signing his new contract that we've been trying to get him tied down to. So that could be some good news for us West Ham fans. Yeah, apparently he's going to be in line with their highest earner. So apparently it's really close now, and that'd be great news for us if he does sign his new contract. And I think it helps with obviously Danny Dyer and her dad, the links to that, that might help him stay with us for a bit longer, hopefully.
Yeah, I forgot about that actually. There's quite a family connection, isn't there? But yeah. So I suppose he's he's bought into the West Ham.
It might be forced to stay.
And yeah, might not have a choice in the matter. But yeah, no, that'd be great news for West Ham if they get timed out to a long deal.
So Declan Rice then recently moved over to Arsenal. Some wonderful years at West Ham. Great finish to his career there. He may go back. Who knows? He's the position he plays. I suppose these types of players don't often get the glitzy sort of sprinkle dust or whatever you want to call it over their performances that often. I said this to Tom before. I'd like to see him get more goals, more assists. I know that's not necessarily part of that position all the time, but I think it's certainly a level breaker in terms of going from very, very good to extremely good, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So he's operating at levels, world class levels. He's dominating that area of the park more often than not. He gets around the pitch so well. Box to box, he's again similar to Bowen for me. Few more seasons, probably more seasons than Bowen. I think Declan Rice is getting the world class stamp, and I've no doubt he will get it. Actually, to be honest with you, you can see the levels he's operating at, the age he is. So it's more of a when, not if, with Declan Rice. So that's me.
He's already world class for me. He's been constantly one of the best defensive midfielders in the Premier League. These guys don't seem to give plaudits to the defensive midfielders, but does the dirty side of the job, cycling possession. He builds a platform for the more creative players to play. You always need someone like that in your squad. Consistently played for England. Like we was talking about Jared Bowen, but Rice still got into the squad. He also got 3 caps for Republic of Ireland as well. So got England to the finals. That kind of access they had with him and Phillips, and also Manchester City wanted him in a squad as well. So part of my definition is getting into other teams. If Manchester City comes knocking for you, he must be a half decent player anyway. So for me, he gets a stamp here.
Yeah, for me, I think he's gonna get there. One of my definitions is you need silverware to back up all your potential throughout your career. So he hasn't got enough of that. So for me, he needs to get some top level trophies, and then he will actually walk the stamp after that. But until that comes, he's another Jared Bowen for me. He's got all the potential, is there, but he just needs to add silverware for me.
Tacanio, already spoke quite a bit about Tacanio. For me, he gets a world class stamp for me. I think he's one of these players that you just love to watch. Things he can do on the ball, not many other players can do. Some of the goals he scored is unbelievable. West Ham legend, goals, assists. I don't know how many games he played for Italy. Not really sure how many caps he had, Anton.
He didn't get any Italy caps. Italy B1.
Didn't get any at all. Okay.
No.
But he did enough for me to get the world class stamp, as I say.
Yeah.
Tom?
He's kind of it's a bit of a journeyman player, I'd say. He didn't stay long at any particular clubs. Have a look at his kind of that list of clubs: Lazio, Juventus, Napoli, Milan, Celtic, Sheffield Wednesday, West Ham, Charlton, Lazio. So constantly playing for top sides and always coming up with the magic moments. His longest stint, 118 appearances for West Ham, 47 goals. But I think by
That's
just
a good return.
yeah, definitely, and I think just by that kind of stat alone, the fact that he's going around from club to club, getting into all these top sides, would probably put him in the world class bracket. But I think he's probably a victim of his own temperament, really. If he could really kind of nail down the professionalism, he probably could have been even better than he was. But yeah, he still gets the world class stamp for me because he's just one of those players you just love to have in your side. He's kind of maybe a little bit of a luxury player, but he can always come up with those moments, dig you out, create that bit of magic, and come up with some wonder goals. So yeah, for me, he gets the stamp.
Yeah, magical player, world class moments for me. I hate this, but he just misses out for me. Not consistent enough.
God.
Not consistent enough. His temperament, like you said, and he didn't get into the Italian, Italian squad. So I love to have him. I love to watch him every week, maybe down your local side or for West Ham. I loved him as a Premier League footballer. But I feel bad on this one. But yeah, obviously Di Canio just misses out.
That rounds off Tom's all-time Premier League West Ham 11. Tom, just to give you a chance, I suppose, just to quickly share your thoughts on last season, really, and what you hope for this season. And then we'll go into your transfers, ins and outs. Anton, if you can pull up those when we're ready. And over to you, Tom.
Last season, mate, was the best season in my life as a West Ham fan because we won a trophy, mate. And it's the first one in my life, mate. 43 years. I'm 38, so it's the first trophy of my lifetime. So, mate, Premier League was poor. Yeah, 14th, I think we finished, but I don't care, mate. We won a trophy, mate, and that was just absolutely amazing to see. And it was so surreal, mate. Just obviously never won one, have we, in my lifetime? So didn't really know what to do, but yeah, absolutely amazing. I didn't think I'd see it, boys. I was losing hope. I thought never in my lifetime are we going to win a trophy. And we actually did it. I know it's a conference. I know what people say, but we played a good Fiorentina team in that final, and we deserved it, and we did it, mate. We won a trophy, mate, and it was just amazing to see, mate. And yeah, like I said, so surreal. Didn't really know what to do to celebrate, but absolutely loved it, boys.
What did you do?
Oh, mate, do you know what? I just watched it at home. I thought, no, I'm going to watch it at home. Let my lads watch the first half. He was 6. Watched it with the wife, had a few drinks, and had a few more drinks afterwards. Stopped drinking at 1 o'clock. I thought, am I going to go to work? Should I drink some more? I went to work the next day. I said to my family in the business I work, I said, if we win a trophy, there's no way I'm coming into work. But I made it there. I got there at 7:30. I drank quite a bit, but it's quite unfortunate actually. It's a weird week. So I had such a bad cough. I struggled to sleep all week, and so perhaps I would have enjoyed it a bit more if I felt better. But yeah, absolutely amazing for me, mate, and obviously all the West Ham fans. And shame I wasn't out in Prague to watch it because that would have been even better. But I watched it at home, and it is amazing.
Were you close to getting a ticket to go in, or could you have gone?
No, not a chance, mate. Not that small stadium we played at, mate. Is 19,000 in capacity. We got 55,000 season ticket holders this season. We, no chance, mate. No, could have gone to Prague to watch it, but I literally had to have the whole week off work because it was a Wednesday night. So we probably have to leave Monday, got back Friday. So it wasn't practical for me, mate, with the family and the kids. So I had to watch at home, but no regrets, mate. Watched at home and enjoyed it. Yeah,
it was a really good game of football actually, and our Fiorentina side played really well. So that goal at the end by Bowen. I'm sure you were in football dreamland when that went in.
Oh, mate, I was. Yeah, you can't beat a last-minute winner, can you? That's the thing. Did not expect that, mate. I was all prepared for extra time and penalties,
Yeah, Fiorentina no mugs today, and I think although, like you say, a lot of maybe the bigger clubs sniff at these the Conference League or even the Europa League to some extent. It's a chance for some of the the kind of mid-table teams to have a run in Europe, and I think it's a good addition. shame that they've set the final on a Wednesday, but I suppose with like the Champions League and everything, and it would be nice if they just did a run of them of like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, just had a full European final weekend. But yeah, no, it was great to see West Ham lift the trophy, and especially for Declan Rice as well, and some of the players who've been in it a long time.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Yeah, a lot of them players, have been there a long time, like Bono, Creswell.
Yeah,
And some of them never won a trophy, never won a major trophy. Some of them players, so absolutely brilliant for them,
yeah.
So what about this season then? What's your thoughts on this season?
This season, mate, it could be a struggle again. Obviously lost our best player. We've got money to invest. We've signed a couple of good additions. For me, Ward-Prowse, excellent sign. I'm really happy with that. But I mean, hopefully have a good run in Europe again. And I'm not saying we're gonna finish high at the table. If we can get mid-table, we're not this season. I hope we're not in a relegation battle. That's what I really hope for, mate. I really did not enjoy that last year. We had some big games in the season. We had to win the step. That would have been awful financially for the club. So if we can have a better season in the Premier League and then have a good go in the Europa League again. I mean, we finished third in our group. We go back to the conference. Wouldn't be the end of the world. We're back in that competition, but hopefully we can qualify for the Europa League group and we've got the cup competitions as well. But I do feel that, a bit like Anton was saying, that the European trophies for us the last few seasons have been, an easier thing to get further because we haven't got the English teams in there. I mean, this year a bit different with Brighton and Liverpool, but you've got Man City to play in these cups like Carabao Cup, FA Cup, and Arsenal, and the best teams. It's so hard to win a domestic trophy. So that for West Ham, that conference just worked out perfectly that we qualified for that conference because it was a trophy, that we had a chance of winning. And all along, I perhaps was thinking we're not going to do it, but we did it. So not expecting too much this season, mate, to be honest with you. But we'll see how it goes. Hopefully I'm wrong and we do better than I imagine we're going to do.
Yeah.
We got close to the FA Cup in recent years as well. Well, not recent years, but within
2006 or
a
something.
decade or so ago against Liverpool. Did you go to that game?
No, I didn't go to the FA Cup final, mate. No, I didn't go. But I was actually, it's a bit weird. I'm a big cricketer like Steve, so I was actually playing cricket that day. I look back now, I think, like now don't play as much sport. I think, how on earth did I play cricket that day when we were playing the FA Cup final? But yeah, I kind of watched it while I was playing cricket. But it would have been great to go to the final, mate. I mean, it would be amazing to go to a final and watch us play, But I did go to the quarter final last year, and again, came at home and we beat them. And then the year before, I went to the semi final against Frankfurt. And that was quite some atmosphere. That's a shame we lost that one. But no, I didn't go, mate. But you never know. Could get further in the domestic cup this year. You never know, mate.
Yeah, just looking at some of the transfers. Edson Alvarez from Ajax, 35.4 million. James Ward-Prowse, which you touched on, proven Premier League attacking midfielder. Alvarez looks like he might be a decent, not like-for-like replacement, but at least in the same position as Declan Rice. What are the kind of key areas you feel like West Ham need to strengthen this season with the remainder of hopefully some of that transfer budget you got left from both the sale of Rice and Scamacca as well?
Yeah, I do feel we need another striker now, really, with Scamacca going. But we've got a good young lad, Divine Mabama, who scored a couple of goals last year actually when he came in. And I think Moyes is planning on getting him in the squad again this season. So it wouldn't surprise me if we perhaps don't sign a striker. And we've still got Antonio Danny Ings, and say if we have Mabama, the third striker, possibly sign a player to rotate with Bowen so we can Bowen can play up front. I think Bowen's good up front. But I think a couple of the areas we're really lacking in. Big for West Ham is pace. We lack pace, and the fullback areas to me. But we don't seem to be getting linked with too many fullbacks. Creswell was linked to go away. If we lose Creswell, I think we'd have to replace him. And I think that's the areas of me going forward, playing against the top clubs. We're going to struggle a bit with our fullback areas, And then a lot depends on the Paqueta situation as well. 2 weeks left of the window, less than 2 weeks. So I really don't think we can afford to sell Paqueta now because I feel like we don't have the time to replace him possibly. And it'd be a massive loss, Lucas Paqueta now. But we could do with signing a few more top players, But we'll see, I guess.
Yeah. Did you want to give your predictions as well for this season as well, guys? I think West Ham will be right this season. I think comfortable mid-table finish. There's lots of weak teams in the Premier League. Sheffield United, Luton, both spring to mind. They're having trouble strengthening. So I don't see West Ham being in the same kind of relegation battle as last season. And I think they'll have a decent run in Europa League. I see them getting out the group stages and hopefully getting into like the last 8. Depending on how seriously the other teams want to take it. But yeah, I think they've got a good chance of going far in Europe if they prioritise that. And it's always a tough grind, the kind of Wednesday or the Thursday, Sunday. But I think they'll do all right. Matt, would you have West Ham finishing?
Yeah, I got them down to finish 10th. I think they're going to have a half decent season, to be honest. Their starting 11, I thought, were pretty strong on the weekend against Bournemouth. And I thought they were going to give them not a thumping, but maybe a 2-1, 3-1 away win. So I was quite surprised when they didn't fold, but they conceded a few chances, didn't they? I think Bournemouth hit the bar. That Solanke played well. He played really well, actually. I know he got the goal for them as well, but I think he had 2 chances saved. So yeah, I think they're gonna do okay. 10th, like I said, for West Ham, I always feel should always be finishing a bit higher because they're such a big club, really, in the grand scheme of things, especially in London and and around the country. So yeah, I'm gonna put them 10th.
Yeah,
How about
I
you, Steve? Where did you
agree.
have them finishing?
Yeah, I got him finishing 11th in the episode where we did the preview. So I agree. I think you'd be fine. You're right, Tom. I think you need to keep hold of Lucas Paqueta, and he's a player, isn't he? He's a good player, very good player. And yeah, I don't think you can
regular
afford
for
to
Brazil
lose.
as well, right?
Yeah, you can't afford to lose 2 big players like that. To Rice already moving on, so I do hope you keep hold of him. Having said that, though, I'm sure you'd strengthen. I'd like to think you could strengthen if you did go. Might not be. I'm sure there's players that Moyes has got on his list that he'll head straight for if that does happen. But I think it'd be fine. I think you'll have a similar sort of season through Europe as well. To be honest with you, I think this could be a good patch for West Ham in terms of successes in competitions and going through on a decent run. So moving into the last bit then, quick fire Q&A. Matt, do you want to? We've got 3 questions each. Fire away, Matt. We'll go to you.
Yeah, I'll go into the first question then. Who's the best manager you've seen in the dugout at West Ham in your time?
David Moyes. Right, yeah.
David
Yeah.
Moyes, yeah?
Yeah. Sorry, but do you want me to talk anymore?
No, that's good. It was clear.
Yeah, he brings stability, doesn't he, to every club he goes to. In the long
Yeah,
run,
he
I know he's
sure
had he had a bit of a slate at Man United when he went there, but he didn't do too bad, to be honest. Straight after Ferguson, so yeah, he's a safe bet. So I think like Steve said, maybe you can go for a little bit of a purple patch if he can build a squad, like he done in his Everton days. If he can get a good team assembled there, I can see him kicking on a bit further up the league. So yeah.
What's your next question, Matt?
As a West Ham fan, if you ever gone at the start of the season and thought we've got a good side assembled here, we can maybe have a chance at doing a Leicester and winning the league. Have you ever thought that as a genuine feeling going into a season?
No, never ever, mate. Not even thought. To be fair, that we could finish top 4. To be fair, mate, that would be a push, massive push. Yeah, no, never ever have I thought we could challenge to win a title, mate. No chance, mate. Only ever hope for cups, for us. And safety.
Okay, yeah, like I said, obviously we're down in another part of the UK. Yeah, for such a side with a big history, I find it quite surprising that mentality really as a West Ham fan, thinking you're familiar with all the sides around you, all the big clubs in London, and I consider West Ham as at least one of these seasons over the 30 years in the Prem, and maybe you could have had a stab at it and done a Leicester maybe, but yeah,
the
I found that
competition's
surprising.
so tough, though, Matt, is it? It's a competition, mate. Like you look at the squad at the start of the season, and you think, well, you finish the season before what chance, just finish as high as we can,
Fair enough.
The weight, Anton said, it's a wage structure, mate. Sorry, Matt. Sorry, going back to what Anton said earlier. The wage structure. Oh, we don't pay the wages at the top. The Champions League teams pay, so it's hard to compete.
Yeah. And who's the worst player or most frustrating player you've seen in your time at West Ham? Constantly getting selected, and you think maybe shouldn't be on the pitch.
Oh, mate, that's a good question. There's been a few. Do you know what? Joey O'Brien, right back, he used to play the Bolton game for us, and he's with us for a few years. He really frustrated me, mate, and I didn't like watching him. I didn't feel he was good enough for the Premier League to play for us, mate. And he played quite a lot of games, and that's under Big Sam, and Big Sam times, I reckon he must have been. But more recently, mate, a couple of players that have really frustrated me getting to the end of their career. Noble, I love Noble, but at the end of his career, mate, he was so slow. And exactly the same as Kevin Nolan, mate. At the end of their careers, it was almost like playing with 10 men, you know, they were just too slow for the league. And they were hard to watch, mate, them times.
Yeah, on the gravy trains by that time, innit they? So,
Yeah.
oh, there we go.
Yeah, I got a couple.
Okay.
I got a couple of softballs. That was your last question. Sorry, Matt.
Yeah, that's my 3 questions. Yeah.
Yeah. What's the biggest upside and downside of being a West Ham fan?
Biggest upside, mate, it's probably the family feel around the club. You know, you get to the stadium, not but even most clubs would say, you get to the stadium, it's such a great feel being part of it. Like what Matt was saying about the big club, you know, we've got a great fan base, like Matt was saying earlier, and just feeling part of that, mate, really is a massive upside being a West Ham fan. And it's the hope that kills you, really. The downside is like what we were touching on earlier about you know, league finishes year after year, the struggles we've had, the relegation fights. That would have to be the downside, I guess, and the fact that we've probably lost more Premier League games than any other club in the Premier League, if that's right.
Oh wow.
Okay. So the constant losing the football matches, mate. I'll say to other people like that, support the big clubs, like they're used to winning. For us, winning a game, like people, why get excited you beat such and such near the bottom of the league? 3 points to West Ham, any 3 points to West Ham is massive because they're hard points to get, aren't they? So
yeah,
I'd say that'd be the downside, mate. The constant losing of football games. But to be fair, it's got better the last few years under David Moyes. So
yeah.
bad.
You mentioned the stadium. I'm just curious, kind of, what's the match day beverages they got on tap there, and now if you're gonna go to a game, what would be the thing that you'd order inside the stadium, or if you don't get
inside the stadium, mate? There's Heineken on tap. Yeah, so we drink Heineken. They did have Amstel for a bit. I can't remember actually what they had at the end of last season, but yeah, any lager, mate. But they are very expensive in there. So
yeah,
but we do like to get in the stadium and have a drink. They are very expensive, and the queues are better with the stadium now. You know, it's easier to get drinks than it was at Upton Park. There's better facilities, better toilets.
Yeah, and then just the last question, then best away ground that you've been to.
Oh, best away ground. So I did. It's great to see it being Anfield, Old Trafford, Man City Stadium, and that was new. I remember going. That was good. One closest home for you boys, Swansea. Been to Swansea away. We beat them 4-1 Boxing Day, about 2016 or so. That was a good one because obviously getting a result.
Yeah, nice coach journey back, right, after beating Swans.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's me, Steve.
Great. So I got 3 questions as well. So what's the best thing you've experienced on any match day travel? Any stories? Anything that's happened that's been a bit random? Anything at all?
I haven't really seen. I'm sorry, mate. Just I'd say about having the great times with family and friends, going to watch the games and that, and enjoying drinks and food together and great laughs, you know. But yeah, sorry, mate. I haven't really got a specific story for you there, buddy.
That's right, buddy. Scratch that question.
This point.
We'll edit that out.
Lead balloon.
So, okay, favorite ever West Ham moment, either TV, live at a game. What's the favorite moment ever? I guess it'd be the one very recent. So if it is that, maybe something else as well.
Definitely, mate. Bowen's goal, 100%, mate. Bowen's goal, mate, and winning, obviously lifting the trophy. But before that happened, mate, probably winning the last game at Bowen against Man United, last game at the old stadium, you know, beating them 3-2. That was a great send off for the stadium, so I'd probably say that's up there as well, mate. But yeah, definitely now, mate. Bowen's goal and the victory and the trophy lift, mate.
It is. And then this last question coming from someone very close to home to you as a question they wanted to ask. So
okay, mate.
So you answer this one. So it's quite a long one actually. So that might give you a clue as to who it might be. Do you think West Ham can still challenge in the Europa League and the Premiership this season, the current squad depth, or does Moyes have to sacrifice one?
That's similar to last year, mate. He'll often pick his best team. He doesn't rotate the squad a lot, mate, to be honest. I'd probably rotate the squad more if I was in. But I think it'd be similar to last year, mate. It's so hard to compete Thursday and Sunday. And that's why I feel you need to rotate even more, perhaps, than Moyes does. Because players, I feel, cannot play the same level they do from a Thursday to a Sunday. I've played football. You guys have played football. And I've played Saturday and Sunday and whatever, Saturday, Sunday games. But I think it's nearly impossible for them players to play on a Thursday night to put exactly the same 11 out on a Sunday and expect them to play the same. I know these guys get paid a lot of money, but I don't. The intensity of the game, obviously, we don't realise we haven't played in the Premier League,
Yeah.
and how much you need to put into it. I feel we need to rotate more, mate. To be honest, freshen up a bit.
I agree. There's certain limits, I know people say they're on 100,000 a week or whether they should be able to play
Yeah.
2 games a week, but the travel, the intensity of the training, people don't see the
Yeah.
training and all the work that goes on behind closed doors, and then all that preparation for the match day, and you're competing against other elite athletes. You think about only like 1% of the academy ever get signed to play football. You're talking the best of the best over years across the world as well. That's just like the best players in the world come to play in the Premier League. So yeah, the intensity levels are through the roof, and to kind of get up for it in a 3-day window, really difficult. So the extra workload will kind of impact the season. I agree.
Great answers, Tom, to those questions. Matt, you any final
All right,
thoughts? And
No, to say that, yeah, thanks for coming on, Tom. Yeah, like I said,
Thanks
I've
for having me
probably
on board.
learned more about West Ham in the last 2 days than I
Yeah,
than
yeah.
than you previous going through the history. But yeah, I think they'll do. Think they'll do well this season. I think that European win will
Hopefully.
keep them on. I think they'll go mid-table, and yeah, if they can build a squad around the likes of Bowen, Antonio, yeah, and Moyes likes to do that, keep a side together. I think it could be a good time. So you won't have such a barren spell of cups maybe in the future, in the near future.
Be nice, mate. Win another one.
Yeah, again, thanks Tom for coming on. Appreciate you spending
No,
time
thank
with us
you, mate.
today. And maybe we'll have you back on end of season Europa League final special for the Hammers.
yeah.
Be nice, yeah.
Yeah, we can do a preview for that.
No, thanks, lads. I really enjoyed it, actually. No, it's been brilliant.
Good stuff.
Okay, and where can we find you? What's your Twitter handle for people to go follow you?
HatchTom70, so HatchTom and 70.
Yeah, drop Tom a follow, and if you want to keep up to date with all the West Ham news, and he's got lots of good Twitter content on there.
Great stuff. Thank you very much. Anton, do you want to wrap up?
Cheers, chat.
Yeah, that's it for this time, guys. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, consider dropping a like, and if you want to see more videos, consider subscribing to the channel, and you'll be notified when we post a new video. And if you've got any questions or any feedback, anything you want to post, drop a comment in the comment section, and we reply to them all, because there's hardly any comments. So if you want to be replied to, we'll drop a reply. But that's it for this time. Have a world-class weekend, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.